Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. In this video, I am going to be talking about the difference in being woke or rebellious, because unfortunately I see a lot of adults claiming that some of our young people out here are woke because of how they are responding to certain things that are happening in society. They're saying that they are woke. And so I want to ask my audience, after I present what I'm going to present, do you think that these young people are woke or rebellious? And I have a reason for thinking the way that I do, because there's a whole lot to being woke. It's not just a matter of saying, okay, I'm not taking this stuff anymore, because one of the reasons why a lot of our young people are declared to be woke by adults or the older generations is because they say, well, these young people, they are not putting up with what our ancestors put up with. And what we forget is that we did have rebellions that took place in the past, okay? We did have that. So not everyone was sitting around waiting for their next set of instructions. Some people were actually planning on fighting back and defending themselves. But these young folk today, could you put them in the same category as a Nat Turner, or are they getting praised for something that is simply not worthy of them being praised for? Are they woke or rebellious? And a good example of what I'm talking about is what I see with some of the Black Lives Matter actions. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lump everyone that's involved in that organization into one big ball. I see a lot of people trying to lump everyone into the same group. They have different movements that are joining in with this Black LGBTQYXYZ whatever Lives Matter. That's trying to be they're trying to lump that into this. They're trying to lump looters into this, and people who are out here doing unscrupulous things with those who are actually out here protesting peacefully. Okay. Now, I don't like to do that for anyone. I don't think it's fair to lump any group into one category. That's what's happened to us for so very long, that people are used to doing it. So everyone in the organization are not the same, and it's not fair to say so. If that's the case, we can all start doing that, right? We can all start saying just because someone's a Christian, they're a member of the KKK. You see? And so the point I'm trying to make here is that there are young people involved in this movement who are using the movement to do things that they should not be doing. And so that caused one big paintbrush to come out of the bucket, and everyone is painted with that brush. And I don't think it's fair. And then you have adults who will say that these young people are woke because they're not taking stuff anymore. Now, there are those who are really out here saying, look, we're not going to put up with this mistreatment anymore. But then you have those who slither in, and they're not out there trying to get rights of any kind. They're out there trying to take opportunities, to take things that don't belong to them, destroy things that they shouldn't be destroying, all of that. And you lump it all together and you have just one big ball of confusion. That's what you have. But some people are okay with it. They are trying to label these young people as woke when they are fast asleep. We had a message the other day that we brought forth where we were talking about that not everyone is awake. Some people are still asleep, but you're saying that they are woke, and they are not. A lot of these young people are spiritually dead. They have no sense of culture, no sense of sanity, some of them, no sense of pride, no sense of anything. The only pride that they have is this pride in their own selves and their own abilities to wreak havoc in the community. And so you can't declare a young person woke like that when what they really are is just rebellious. A lot of these young people are rebellious. They don't listen to their parents, their grandparents. They don't listen to any type of authority. And I don't mean authority that's telling them to do wrong things. I'm talking about sound advice. They don't listen to it. As a matter of fact, if you try to tell them, look, you don't need to be out here doing this, whether selling drugs or drinking or smoking or whatever, some of them will slap you into the middle of next week. You see? And so this rebellion is being called young people that are awake when they are not awake. These young people, they don't have any sense of the future and what they need to prepare for. They don't have any strategy about them. There is an art to war. There's a strategy that needs to be implemented. When you are behind enemy lines of any kind, you don't just come out doing anything. There is a strategy involved. And that's something that these young people are lacking. They lack strategy in the art of war. They don't know how to plan. They don't know how to do anything of the sort that's going to further their future. They don't know how to fortify in areas that matter. Many of them don't know how to communicate properly. They think that cussing, screaming, and hollering is the way to get a point across. There is a way that you can get the same point across without looking like a fool. That's one thing that a lot of people just don't get. They think that you gotta do all of this unnecessary chatter with your mouth, the cussing and the hollering and all of this stuff just to get a point across. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with getting excited about certain things when you're speaking. Nothing wrong with that at all. But what I'm saying is when you get to calling folk out their name and doing all kinds of stuff like that, you think that they are intimidated by it. I've seen some of these Gentiles who may encounter one of our young people doing just that, cussing them, calling them out of their names and all that. They stand there looking at them like they are daring them to make a move because they know the strategy and the art and of manipulation, basically, on how to win a fight or how to garner support. Now, that young person, that young black person may be right. They may be taunting them or doing something to try to get a rise out of them. But because they know the art of manipulation, not the young people, but these Gentiles, they know the art of manipulation. They know how to back these young people into a corner with their mouths, talking loud, saying nothing. These young black kids, teenagers, young adults, whatever, they say all kinds of things, but there is no intimidation going on. They're not intimidating anyone because the goal is to try to get you to react in an emotional sense to do something that you can't undo to ruin your life. Some of these Gentiles will even take a blow just to destroy you, back you in a corner. Some of them, they will do just enough to cause you to rise up, do something, make a move so that they can claim that they feel threatened and then take you out. This is why I say there is a strategy. And so for all of you who are praising these young people, talking about they're not taking it anymore and all of this, that, and the other, don't try to paint them out as some heroes when they don't even know the art or the strategy of anything. In battle, in war, there is a strategy. You have to be very wise when you're out here on this battlefield we call life. You can't just move about freely doing things and saying things that are not a part of your strategy. As simple as that. Because when you do those things, you end up getting yourself caught up into some foolishness or some nonsense because you didn't have enough forethought to think things through. You're very reactionary with your body, your movement, and your words. Nobody's intimidated by all of that huffing and puffing. They're just not. It is what it is. And so, again, I'm going to say a lot of our young people are not woke. They are simply rebellious. No one has set them down and taught them any type of strategy, how to analyze, how to think, how to plan. They're just reactionary. And because a lot of the adults are reactionary too, they praise these young people for being reactionary as well. Because maybe they will go a step further than what many of the adults have gone in the past. Maybe they will go a little further, but does that mean they're woke or wise? Or simply ruthless and rebellious? What is it? We've got to learn how to analyze things for what they are. I've even heard some of the adults calling these young people warriors. Before you start calling somebody a warrior, sit down and look at The Last Samurai. Look at a movie like that where real warriors were not at play but in action. Maybe then you'll change your mind about calling these young thugs warriors. Because guess what? There is an art and a strategy that a real warrior will implement. Okay? I hope that I've made some sense to some of you to be able to understand where I'm coming from and not be so quick to graduate these lawless young individuals to a status of a warrior or a person that's woke when really they're just simply rebellious. With that, I am out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.